Okay, I guess we're live, are we?
Yes, we are.
Hmm. Uh, there we go. Just popped up there. Do-do-do-do. Okay, AZ. Hey, there he is. Good morning, AZ. Yeah. I was wondering if he's going to be around this morning. Ah. Bill Lama Lord coming in and sliding in second base. All right. And Trevor. Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning, all. I'm just trying to get the invite up here.
Yeah. Russell says he's here now. He just was waiting for AZ to come in first, right? So,
Well, he's a granddaddy now.
yeah, your grandpa, he's a little bit slower, I don't think that was his first one, though.
Don't you? I don't know the family history. So
I know my buddy there up in that I hunted down here with, and he moved up north. He just became a grandpa for the first time there yesterday or day before there. So, um, not bad. There was some bit of a gaps in some of the parade. It was a long parade. Um, there, I'm kind of happy with the footage, but I'm not. I went through 2.5 batteries.
wow.
Yeah, yeah. I had to quickly fly back over, drop down low, disconnect the battery, put another one in, put back up, fly back over. But I was only like 150 feet from where I was standing. I just see the drone right there, and I run it off of Zoom. I don't know. I should have been down and closer without the Zoom, or the colors were kind of yellow.
Blase.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. Oh, it is your first one there, AZ. Oh, okay. So we call you Grandpa AZ now, eh? But anyways, but the one that section I particularly like, and I'll show you in a couple minutes. I've never seen it, and it just blew me away. But it was a tow truck towing a tow truck, 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 towing a tow. It was just, oh my God, put all that together.
like a big conga line, huh?
Oh, it was just amazing. Wow, it was just, yeah.
AZ says, "How old do you think I am, Hodges?"
81, 82. No, just kidding. I think you're in your late 50s, if I'm right.
I think he's in his late 40s, early 50s.
So
My guess.
I suppose being the first grandchild, if you do the math, 20 and 20 is 40, right? So,
Yeah.
now well, yeah. Well, I put it this way, you're an old dude now. Hey, see that? Mid 50s, Paul.
Yeah.
I said so. I said, yeah, 40, 50, maybe something in there. Okay.
Well, congratulations again, David. And I hope it. Paul thought it was going to be a boy. Was it a boy or a girl?
I think it was a boy. Yeah. Yeah, how's it feel to be a grandpa? Your kids are making you feel old. I don't know where my grandkids were last night at the parade, but
They were there.
I told them where I was going to be, but never seen them. Yeah.
Trevor says he didn't think AZ was a day over 78,
Mhm.
79. My little sky pilots, the Blue Jays are out there raiding all the peanuts.
Oh, yeah. If there's peanuts around, you'll find a blue jay, usually.
Well, don't they? They don't go south for the winter.
I'm not sure if they migrate or not.
That's a good question to ask. Let me see.
I already had my pills already there, easy. I get up in the morning, first coffee. Down go the pills.
Yes, they do migrate south
Do they?
in search of better foraging opportunities. This migration behavior allows them to take advantage of milder climates and abundant food sources in their wintering grounds.
Well, geese used to go fly south too. Now they stick around because it's never that cold anymore. It doesn't freeze up like it used to.
That plus people are feeding them too, right?
Yep. As long as people are feeding them, they'll stick around, I think.
Yeah, AZ said it was a boy, and it's just his first grandchild, so it'd be grandson. Well, AZ is going to be busy spoiling the hell out of that grandchild.
Oh, yeah. Especially you only got one, right?
Yep. And as the grandchild starts to figure out what AZ's up to with all the drones, oh my God,
Yeah.
he's going to be spoiled.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, AZ. Spoil them while you got them.
So AZ, was it the boy, was it for your from your son or from your daughter?
I
Like,
think it was his daughter.
I think, I don't know how the marriage worked. The one married the other, but I just,
Could be wrong.
yeah. It's on. Don't have a daughter. Okay, so you got to tell me actually to carry on the name now. Then I know, like in my family lineage, on my dad, grandfather's side, and all that. My dad was the last of the lineage, but he had two boys, me and my brother, and so we were to carry on the Hodges name. Except I didn't have any kids, right? And my brother, he had one boy to carry on the name, but he's had two girls now. So my nephew might be the last of the Hodges. So I don't know.
For some reason, every time that camera gets in that position, it locks up and the circle goes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when it goes up and it swings back, it gets to that position again.
Yeah.
And then when I have to either hit enter or escape, and it starts up again.
Huh. Or
Weird. That's weird.
Yeah.
AZ says, you don't have kids, Paul?
No, no. Well, I have a son, but it's not my son. But I've been around since he's about 4 or 5 years old, right? So
Yeah.
not blood.
Genetically, it's not his son, but it's still his son.
Yeah.
Got to look around here, Paul. There's so much needs to be done. The windows need to be done, and oh man.
Yeah. No, it never ends, Paul.
And I don't have the energy I used to have.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't miss anything. Well, I don't know. Kind of wish I would have had one of my own, but just never happened.
Yeah.
I mean, when me and Bonnie got together, she was kind of past her prime at that point, I guess. So I think when we finally did get married, and I think we're, in the 40 years old or better.
So you never had any serious relationships before that?
No, I waited till I was 32 before I got my first marriage. I don't know, just having too much fun, running around the country and living the life, right?
Whatever happened to her?
No, I married a minister's daughter. That was the first mistake. She was an alcoholic. Thought she might settle down after getting married, but she never did.
Still alive?
I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Don't know whatever happened to her. I was kind of in contact with her family up till about 5 years ago. And she was still around then, but I don't know if she still is now or not. She remarried. She remarried some bricklayer or something. I don't know. I have to heard. Yeah, he was here, JDS, but they're coming over to pick the body up pretty soon now. Oof. No, it's okay there, Jay. Yes, no, I'm not that big a rush. I already done it twice. I get it twice and three times the charm. I don't know, but anyways. But anyways, they. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
Well, the sad part of it is when it's time, you'll know. It's just
Oh yeah, yep,
it isn't time right now.
yeah. Yeah, Jonathan. Yeah, the body of Trudeau's laying at the bottom of my stairs here. He broke into my house, so I shot him. They're just waiting for him to come pick him up. I don't know. They don't seem to be in a hurry to come get him.
Yeah, I never had a lot of luck with trying to get it right, you know.
Jonathan goes, seriously? Yeah, right. Okay. Sorry, that was my dream. I forgot. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I will share this. This is just part of the parade last night I filmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it turned out good.
Yeah. But see, I was over an empty lot, right? There's no people standing here, so I could just sit there and hover all day and didn't have to worry about it, right?
Looks like the crowd is pretty sparse.
Yeah, in this area, but there's other areas that apparently there's a lot of people there. I was getting pretty cold towards the end, but the part I want to show you is this coming up here. Okay, now this is a tow truck towing 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 a tow truck. Tow truck. It was just, I couldn't believe they could do this, but they did. It was amazing. Got a little toy one here in front, like, we're doing parking garages for cars, but um, you wouldn't believe how many tow trucks are there. They even had tow trucks on top of tow trucks. It's going to go up to this part here. That's funny. They had smoke coming out of the stacks here.
Well,
But
they got all the lights on.
oh yeah, well, see, the lights were getting kind of blown out too a bit, eh? But you can see the street lights are kind of blowing out a bit in the storefronts and stuff. But look at all the tow trucks, Paul.
Wow.
Like a tow truck, tow truck, tow truck, tow truck with a tow truck on top of it, towing another truck that's got a pickup on it that's pulling another truck with another tow truck and a car at the end. But anyway, so
Well, that'd be really interesting when they get to a corner and have to turn.
yeah, they probably got to unhook everything before they can turn. They can't just have one tow truck pull, going around the corner pulling everybody. I don't think. Maybe they did. I don't know. Uh, Who's that?
That is my wife number 3. She's dead now.
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah. Name was Leanne.
yeah.
I need to go get rid of the emojis again, I think.
Yeah, it's still there. Yeah. Yeah, okay, somebody. Oh, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't. I'm sorry. They're easy. Yeah. We got the point out. You can stop now the tow trucks. For a little town like St. Thomas, that many tow trucks all here like that. It's not like out of London. Like we're only maybe 40,000 people. That a lot of freaking tow trucks. But you know,
Must be a big company, Paul.
wasn't that many years ago though that they were. I can remember them having 2 or 3 tow trucks. Russell, do you? Oh, he said, Paul, do you have a picture of wife number what 7? So I did it twice. So
I was married 3 times.
yeah. Yeah. What are we gonna do with our Sunday? Plymouth trains probably today. I don't know. I haven't even looked at the weather yet for today. So oh, or just empty something here. So okay, let's go to Facebook and there. Laura. Yeah. Okay. Share screen. This is Laura. I haven't watched it yet, so be prepared.
No sound.
No sound?
No.
Well, it's very low. I've got it cranked up as much as I had here, so I don't know what's going on. But anyways, this is Laura. I don't know, go to the sound bar. Now all it do is let me turn it on or off. I can't go any higher. Yeah. Oh, the hell is this? Well, Who the heck you are? It was somebody from the Philippines. Uh, Want to be friends on Facebook? I don't think so. Hey, Drum Worship is in there this morning. Wow, good morning. And Lance. Oh. Yeah, I got to put my head protector back on my model railroad this morning. I put facer panels up above on the front of the layout and yesterday, but I have a duck under, which is only have to go down half a foot or something. But I had a piece of big foam wrapped around it to protect my head from banging on it. So I got to now I got the facer. I had to take it off, put the facer on, and then I gotta put the thing there, quit banging my head so much, and make it a little softer when I do hit it back on today. But yeah, I'm finished putting up the rest of the panels. Only got very few left to do. So that ship coming or going? Well, it's going. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's going.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where he is today there, AZ. I thought you had Cussy for a girlfriend or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where'd you scam that from there, JDS? Yet he's trying to say this is his girlfriend. Yeah, probably not. He couldn't handle that if he wanted to.
You might think he could.
uh,
It's kind of dull here this morning, isn't it?
a little quiet this morning, yeah.
I mean, I'm thankful for the 14 we have now, but that are watching.
Yeah.
But I think they're
We
mostly,
got a few people around. Yeah.
yeah, they're a lot of our regulars.
Yeah. She's a widower like you. Oh. So wasn't that her running away from you once you found out who you were?
Huh.
Roger, baby Splendor. It's Laurentian for United Island 1042. And Right Honorable Jose Marshall for 1040.
Anyways. Okay, there, JDS. Yeah, for sure. We'll wait. What happened to Chrissy? You pissed her off, did you? Hey. That's Chrissy, guy. She had her boobies done. Yeah, okay.
Looks like they overdid it.
Yeah. Yeah, they hang down to her knees now. Curtis said nobody, what's this? Hope nobody's waiting on a package. Port of Tacoma shutting down early next week. Skeleton crew. Oh. Were they going on strike or something down there or what, Curtis? I'm waiting for a few boxes from China. But you don't know of the boob job is right now until you can feel the fit. Come on, Captain Joe. Hey there, Jonathan.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
How's everybody doing today?
Another day in paradise.
Okay. Monday, man. We got Thanksgiving coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I already had my Thanksgiving about a month and a half ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Canada has it a lot sooner than the U.S.
Okay. I don't know what happened yesterday, man.
Yeah.
Our local grocery store, I was flying while I was watching the show yesterday. Ended up with like 15 police cars at the whole front door to Piggly Wiggly surrounded, man. It was crazy.
But we call this weekend Black Friday. You know? So.
I think I'm gonna post that little 30-second video later on today. Where's Justin? He still asleep?
Hey, Jody, good morning.
Justin must still be knocked out. Can you hear me, Paul?
Yep. Yeah, you good.
Check this chat, see what's going on. What you want, Cat? So what we got going on today, guys?
Curtis is still hounding me, Paul. I just
Yeah, yeah. All for the Christmas special.
Yeah, I seen that. So you mean to tell me one truck was towing all of those tow trucks at one time?
Yep.
No,
What
my
we got going
dream-
on today, guys?
How
Yeah.
many tow trucks do you figure it was in a row, Paul?
well, it had to be about 10 trucks, tow trucks.
Yeah, it looked like at least 10, 12 of them.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody in the chat. How y'all
Yeah.
doing today?
Oh, there's a picture of Chrissy there. Okay, I see there now, JDS. Yeah. He keeps sending me pictures over here, and I'm not going to put that one on here.
Let's see what we got there, Curtis. Yeah, this take too long. AZ USA, Curtis, Lance, Frank. How y'all doing this morning, man?
Huh.
Trevor, JDS, just seeing you.
Yeah, I seen that one there already there, JDS. That's an old one. I seen it about a week ago.
We got a new guy, Drone Worship. How you doing, family?
Oh, Dan's been on here.
Go to subscribe to his channel.
That's Drone Worship. Yep.
That's Dan?
He's
Oh.
he's been around for a long time.
That is Dan.
Yeah.
Dan got more accounts than a little bit. He got more accounts than I got gaming accounts. Speaking of gaming accounts, where's Justin?
Good question. Well, they did a late show last night, so I don't know. He and his Asian connection down there in Australia.
He went to Australia?
No. The who do you have? I think did Dominic show up on his live last night, or just Tim? Well, both Tim and Dominic live in Australia.
Yeah, they both live down here.
Yeah, I missed the show last night, man. I was out. I was out for the count.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll give you something there to dive there for there, Curtis. Because they said that they found another sunken ship or something they recently just found. Lance was telling Curtis about it, so Curtis is going to look into it. Maybe he can go down and go find it or find out where it is, go tour it or whatever, right? So,
Curtis has a underwater drone, or he's a diver?
Yes, he does. I think he does both, but mostly underwater drones. He's got 3
Nice.
or 4 of them.
Oh, nice.
You go to Curtis's channel and you'll see all kinds of neat underwater stuff.
Yeah, I just looked over there. He's got some videos. I'm gonna go check those out. How long do those underwater drones? What's the battery life on those underwater drones?
I think it depends upon how much you use the motors and how bright you turn on your lights. But I think he gets 30, 35, 40 minutes underwater.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
yeah, I like that there, JDS. he sent me a picture, and I can see all the pictures on his computer that he keeps taking pictures of. Some of them pretty racy.
Curtis, if you want to join the panel, you might be able to answer some of Jonathan's questions.
Yeah, Curtis, I'd like to know about them underwater drones, man.
Just pop on.
Oh, God.
Just for a couple of minutes, Curtis.
Yeah.
Oh, he says generally an hour and a half. Depends upon the lights, the current, generally an hour and a half.
Oh, I love it there, JDS.
An hour and a half?
Yeah.
On one battery?
Yep. On one charge.
Oh, now that's interesting. That's very interesting. What do those run, Curtis?
Come on, on board, Curtis. Answer some questions.
Come on, Curtis. You got the information we need, brother. Drones is our life.
There's Mr. Jackson, Tim Jackson.
I got to make this cup of coffee real quick. Those are what are those? This Swell Pro, right? Swell Pro makes the underwater drones.
Oh, he's got the bigger.
Yeah.
They're actual. I can't. Do you remember the name of those drones that he uses? Underwater drones?
Oh, the fly fish.
Fly fish or something like that.
I think something like that.
Fly Tech.
Fly fish, I think.
Now, JD, I did send a decent one here. Picture. Okay. Yeah. I think I got it right. Yeah. Quit blaming me. It's not my kid.
I'm licensed current generally.
That's the original Pierre Trudeau. Quit blaming me. It's not my kid.
Yeah, Frank Rizzo says at least $3,000 or $4,000 for one of those underwater drones.
Oh yeah,
it's got to be bigger
Here
than
comes Curtis now. All right,
the man of the hour, Captain Nemo.
Oh God, you guys,
Curtis was good.
Jonathan's got a whole bunch of questions for you.
Let me get all. Give me 1 second, Jonathan. Let me get all this set up here.
All righty.
Yeah, he's just getting out of bed.
Yeah, I'm on the West Coast.
He's out Washington.
Yeah, so he's about 3 hours behind us, so it's only about 20 to 7 in the morning. So
Washington State or Washington D.C.?
Washington State.
Washington, okay.
I'm about an hour south of Seattle. You guys hear me? Everything working?
Yep, everything's working. You're a little dark, but that's okay.
Yeah, well, it's the only light I got.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's still night here. All right, what do you guys want to know?
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Yeah, I wanted to know about that underwater drone you working with there, guy.
Well, I've got which one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and another one on the way.
True drone pilot. True drone pilot. Let's see. Well, it's kind of dark. We can't really see.
And then I've got 3 aerial drones as well, a couple RC cars, got a plane.
What you flying? Which drones you got?
The Mavic 2 Pro, I've got 2 Avadas.
Okay. Avada, man. Avada's calling me, but I think I'm gonna wait for the version when they come out with the 04 in it.
So
nowadays,
have you seen? You haven't seen my latest video though, have you? The one where we dive on the World War II bomber?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you got to go check that out.
You can go ahead and share parts of if you want to show him.
Well, I thought he had questions. I thought I'd answer the questions first. So dive time, unlike an aerial drone, the motors don't need to run 100% of the time. And they're 100% neutral buoyant, so they will float in the water. So if you have them on the surface, they're going to float on the surface. If you put them down at 50 feet, turn them off, they're going to float at 50 feet and slowly come back up.
Nice.
So you're not running your motors like you do a drone, where you're forcing it to stay in place essentially.
Okay, okay.
And
So-
it's tethered too.
Yeah, we have
All right, so we deal with wind when we're in the air. So how does your drone work towards like the water current?
So up to 3 to 4 knots is about the most that most of these can handle. Now the new one, the Ego, the Fly-Fish Ego, it can handle up to about 6 knots.
Fly-Fish Ego. Let me check this out.
It's about $8,000.
$8,000?
Yeah.
How'd you ever make out with that one there you had to send back or something because it wouldn't?
So that one was totally shot. The one they sent me was a demo model, and it was screwed up to begin with. I'd had problems with it from day one.
Yeah.
The claw never really wanted to attach properly. You couldn't quite fit it in there. Somebody had gummied it up. And eventually we took it down to, I think it was 160 feet, and it just, the camera housing just collapsed. And then it flooded with water. So the camera went out. We sent it off, and they said that it wasn't repairable. So,
Yeah.
but we got a different one on the way, so we're good.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
that
you can put Jonathan, you can put attachments on those drones.
Yeah, so you can do 4K 60 frames per second on them.
Okay.
It's a Sony camera that's on there.
Nice.
They're going to be coming out. They tell me they're going to be coming out with a larger sensor, so we'll see about that. They're saying the 1-inch sensor. They're looking at the Osmo, the way the Osmo is put out, the Osmo 3.
Yeah.
And they're thinking about putting that sensor in one of their newer ones. They're not doing that yet, though. As far as so for instance, like we were in a lake. If you go to the Dive on the Bomber video, part 1, you'll see there's a lot of wind. Now, there's no current on this lake. It's a glacier-fed lake from Mount Rainier, so it's super, super cold water.
Right.
But the wind was real choppy. So when you get down to 150 feet and you have that tether that's still on the surface, the surface current is going to move that tether around. So it's kind of pulling you. That tether creates a lot of drag in the water. And if you didn't know, radio waves won't transmit underwater, which is why you have to have a tether. There is technology, but it's more and more expensive. But you do want that tether, because if you can't, sometimes you'll get in a bind and you don't know where you are. You can just turn the thing off and drag it in by the tether.
Right.
And it's a if you read the website, it's not quite correct, but it's a Kevlar tether, but the Kevlar is the center core. And then the wires wrapped around it. It's 300 feet. Well, so there's different depths that you can go to. The ones that I have, with the exception of the Ego, all of them do 300 feet. Beyond 300 feet, it's going to implode. Now, Chasing has the the M2 Pro. Yeah, and they call it the M2 Pro Max is what they call it. That one's good down to 600 feet, but it's an open hull design. In other words, there's no hull to it, unlike the Fly-Fish. So it's just a bunch of rods where everything's attached to the rod. So there's nothing really to collapse on it.
Okay.
Because that's what happens when they implode, is it squishes them.
Right. Like that submarine did when he went down to.
Yeah. And when you go look at my Bomber video, I can share it here in just a minute, but after we answer questions. But we had 4 of them in the water that day, and the first one that we took down was the Chasing one, the M2 Pro Max.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see it's an open design. It's just 4 different rails with everything mounted on those rails. The problem with that is if you get down there, it's real easy to get your tether caught on stuff, even though the tether has that flotation stuff. So it keeps the tether floating straight up. With that open design, you could hook the ROV onto something. And we were down on we were down on a Bomber with parts hanging down underneath it. You know, it crashed in the water. So we decided to abandon that one, and not abandon it. We put it up about 20 feet above the bomber and cranked the lights up to try to help light the thing. It's pitch black that bomber's at 150 feet down. So it is pitch black down there.
Right.
But it's good stuff. It's a lot of fun.
And he's got different attachments you can put on the drones, right?
Right. So there's all different kinds of things that you can put on them. Generally, I put claws on mine so I can pick stuff up. But they have like metal detectors. They have water salinity testers. I mean, it is a true aquaculture, a marine science tool.
Right. Yeah, that sounds like that's not for fun. That's for
it's fun. I mean,
well, I mean, yeah, it's fun doing it, but like, okay, like us for drones, we'll fly, you know, just to fly just for fun. But you think with something like that, you going down there, you're actually going to look for something. You're not just going to be.
Well, no, yeah, you're looking for something. I mean, you're doing the same thing when you go in the air. You take off and you're looking for something to photograph. I mean, unless you're doing FPV, and FPV is a different mindset. FPV is about flying versus, I mean, they want to get good footage too. Don't get me wrong, but it's more about flying for the FPV guys. Whereas for the camera guys, they're going up to look for something. So it's essentially the same thing.
Well, actually, I don't fly FPV, but I do both. I fly to look for stuff.
Videos he has is where the claw is fighting with crabs and stuff on the bottom.
Oh yeah, I get in a fight with a crab every once in a while.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely got to do that.
I started to get in a fight. There's one on there with an octopus where I'm down there looking at the octopus, and he's asleep because his eyes are closed, and then he wakes up because I got my lights on him, and he's looking at me, and first he kind of scoots away a couple times, but I keep up with him. I scoot back over there with him. I want to get some nice shots of him.
Right.
And then he starts extending one of his tentacles out, and very slow. You can kind of see it coming right towards the camp, right towards the claw, and he touches the claw, and he jerks his tentacle back, and he shoots out. He's like, I don't want anything to do with that.
Oh, that was your video. I seen that. Yeah. I seen that on the bottom. Yeah. On the bottom of the wherever you was.
Yep. So Edward, Curtis, is there a difference between an underwater drone and a remote operated vehicle, or are they one and the same? They're very, very similar in the way that they are controlled. There's no, so like on a Mavic 2 Pro, you can tilt your camera down. You can't do that with an ROV, but you can tilt the ROV down like you would the camera. So you have a full 360 degrees of movement, and there's a function on there called depth lock. So I don't know if you guys can see my hand. So like this is forward and back. Well, if you tilt forward normally and you go forward, it goes down at an angle, but you put on depth lock and you go forward and back like this, or left and right. So you can maintain your position and still the controls are still the same. So this is still, in other words,
you maintain the same perspective no matter where you are.
Right.
What's the name of that drone? Did you ever get into that? The one that goes under the water, flies up and goes down under the water?
Oh, the splash drone? No, yeah. I never played with that.
Yeah. Because that doesn't have any real depth to it. That's just shallow.
No, it sits on the surface.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't going no lower than about 3, 4, 5 feet with that.
I mean, I've picked up everything off the bottom you could possibly think of. I've picked up about 30 iPhones now. I mean, this is the latest one I got. Oh, you can't see it. It's a iPhone 13.
From out the lake?
Yeah.
Well, out of the ocean, out at Puget Sound. I almost got it to turn on. I don't know what the deal is with it. So I need to charge it again, but
before you charge it, put it in a bowl of rice, submerge it in rice. It'll soak up.
Oh, I've already done that. I think the screenshot though, but I could punch the buttons and you feel that haptic feedback, that thing. I can feel that happening. So I know something's going on, but I think the screen is shot on this. But even if I got it to turn on, it's an iPhone. Everything's stored in the cloud for Apple guys. They don't store anything on their phones. So,
okay.
And I'm sure it's password protected. So, but yeah, finding phones. I found a taser, found a gun. We had
Found a body too, didn't you?
well, we had this kid that committed suicide, and we
Oh,
were asked
man.
to help locate him. We found that. So, and that was right before Christmas too. That was a tough one.
Well, didn't he weighted himself down with big cinder blocks or something, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. There's a local. I have to be vague with what I say because the family asked us not to reveal
Right.
details. But there is a lake around here, and he was in charge of the park. It's a closed community, a gated community, and he was in charge of the park where people would go down and have their picnics and stuff. And they had those decorative blocks that you put up like for a fake wall or whatever, in your garden. Anyway, he was having some issues. He's adopted and he's from another country, and he was having some issues with a girl at school and just couldn't deal with all those things. And he was also on fentanyl. So he loaded up on fentanyl. He weighted down his backpack with those rocks, those decorative rock things that you use to make a little wall. And he got on a paddleboard and went out to the lake and just went over the side. After we recovered him, they did an autopsy. I did hear from the mortician or the guy who pronounces them dead, and the reason they're dead. The mortician or the doctor, whoever it was, put out a thing and said that he never felt anything. He was already gone. He had taken
when he fell over probably because he was dead, right?
Right. Yeah. He probably was still alive and his heart was beating and everything, but his thought process, his brain was pretty much gone at that point.
Yeah.
But he knew what he was doing going in, but he never felt anything. And that was good for the family to at least know that, the water up here is just freezing cold. You can probably only really live for about 10 to 15 minutes in the water. It's all glacier water off Mount Rainier.
Yeah, that's critically cold. God bless, man.
I got a life vest for when we go out, but I'm like, well, I'm 2 miles from shore, so good luck.
At least give somebody a chance to see and find you.
Yeah. So no, it's pretty fun stuff.
Now, do you get calls from other governmental agencies asking you to go look for something or do something, or?
So I've went out and trained with recovery divers. The way things happen, there's a thing going on right now where this guys went out and got drunk, and one of them got mad and pushed him off the boat, and they haven't found him yet, and he hasn't. It's been a week, so we can't do anything until the sheriff gives up, and then the dive team will come in. They will meet up with the sheriff's office, and they will get all the information that because the sheriff's office has a limited amount of resources. And then based on what the sheriff has done, and in this particular case, they're dragging the bottom of the river with nets and seeing if they can hook the body that way, and they haven't had any luck. But they're not 100% sure where it was, and the guys that were in the boat when they got to fight with him, they weren't even sure where they were on the river. So who knows? But generally speaking, we come in after the sheriff is done or after the police have done their part. We don't do anything directly with them. And they, for some reason, they're somewhat standoffish from you. Even the divers, the divers are willing to. It's an all volunteer team. They're willing to go in there while the sheriff is on still reporting. And the sheriff says, "No, we're doing this ourselves." So it's always after the fact. It's a week to a month later.
Oh man!
But I have done some work showing how to use an ROV with two of the sheriff's departments up here.
Well, one of the most unusual things you got recently was, where you rent those power scooters, and
oh
Jonathan, yeah, what do you call them?
We call them Lime bikes. The company is Lime. There's a couple of different companies in Seattle that do that, but a friend of mine and I and his girlfriend were out just playing around in Seattle, And while we were underwater, we found a Lime bike, and we pulled that out of the water.
What'd they end up doing with that?
So we called the number that was on there. There's a number on the bike in case of, I don't know if Jonathan heard all that or not, but anyway, we called that number and said, hey, we found one of your Lime bikes. And they said, is there a number on the bike? And we read the number off to them, and they told us exactly where we were. They said, okay, you're in Seattle on Wharf 2. And we were like, oh, wow, and they said, well, there's 2 batteries in there. One is a GPS battery, and that's a long life battery. It recharges like the general battery that's used to run the bike, but that secondary battery so they can locate it. Now, GPS doesn't work underwater, but when we surfaced, we got it out in time before that battery went dead. So by giving them the number, they punched in the number and it showed up on the GPS, and they gave us a $12 reward.
$12.
Well, I mean, essentially the bike is shot at that point. Did
they recover the bike or what?
They said, we don't know. We left it there. They said, just leave it there. We'll have somebody come by and pick it up. And of course, the person I'm talking to is in India. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah. They're gonna have somebody come from India to pick it up. Wait a minute.
No, it's
just from India.
It's just customer service. Everybody, all these corporations hire people in India to do their customer service calls.
Yeah, that's crazy too. A lot of times you can't understand everything they're saying. You got to have them repeat it.
It always sounds like the same lady every time I get on the phone. I mean, the exact same person. I can call a bank or I can call customer service for Walmart or whoever, and it always sounds like the same person.
Uncle Bill, good morning.
So yeah, it's a cool thing to get into. Probably the most interesting story that I have is I was out training with some guys, some divers, and they have this set up in Gig Harbor. It's an enclosed harbor. I mean, it's protected from the elements. So even if it's windy as hell outside the harbor, it's got mountains around it, so you can't. The water's always dead calm. They have they gutted out a Volkswagen Bug and they put it down at 60 feet of water. And there's 2 stories here. Let me back up and tell you the story about the Bug. So I'm working with the divers. We worked out the best thing to do is when they are at depth, 100, 200 feet, they don't have a lot of time they can spend down there. So we utilize first we'll locate what it is we're looking for with sonar on the surface. We'll send the ROV down, and the ROV will document where everything is. And in this particular case, this Volkswagen, they'll stick a dummy in there. And the day that I was out there, they put the dummy in the rear seat of the passenger side vehicle. So I went down and figured out the doors were all closed, the windows were all sealed, but the body was on this side. So when the divers go down, they know exactly where they're going to, because it is pitch black down there. So we're able to give them more information so when they get down there, they know exactly what they need to do versus go down, figure it all out, figure out where everything is.
Because they've only got a limited amount of time to be down there, right?
Yeah. So so on this dive, it's only 60 feet. But we're simulating that we're pretending it's 200 feet. Okay. So we're treating it like it's a practice dive. We're treating it like that.
Training.
Yeah, we're just doing some training, and they, by going down there and filming it and showing the video live feed to the divers, they're able to figure out what they need to do. They have 2 dive teams. One dive team that goes down, recovers the body. They bring it up to the 100-feet mark, which in this case was only 25 feet. Again, practice. And then the second team will get in the water with the body bags, and they will put it in the body bag underwater and surface for 2 reasons. 1, it's respect for the dead, and 2, don't ever try to pull a dead body out of the water.
It's like pulling chicken.
Yeah, it'll just pull apart.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I used to be an EMT and in college, and I remember what we used to go get called for floaters. And I remember before I could yell at the rookie that was with me, he grabbed the guy by the arm and pulled it, and it was went, Popped
His
right
arm
out of the
pops right
socket
off,
and he
yeah.
was holding it in his
Ooh.
hand.
The second part of that story was we had finished and I had left and was on my way back, and I had already crossed over the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which is a toll bridge, and I got a phone call from a guy, and I had left my phone number with the harbor master, and this guy calls me and says, "Hey man, I just lost my phone, and can you come pick it up?" And I go, "Well, I'm heading home right now. I'm already over the Tacoma Narrows Bridge." He goes, "No, you don't understand. I don't have a computer. Everything I have is on that phone. I got to get that phone back." I said, "Well, I can come back tomorrow or something." He goes, "No. You got to come back today. There's $500 if you get that phone." I said, "Well,
U-turn.
I'm not for sure I'm going to find this phone." He goes, No, it's $500. I know where the phone is." So I went back, got on his boat. We went right out to it. And about 10 minutes later, I found his phone, grabbed it with a claw and pulled it up. It was in a waterproof casing.
$500.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
$500. Yeah. Bam. Just like that. You get
That
those
was
every once in a while.
definitely important.
And we're talking with a company that does floating docks. They still put pylons in the bottom, but it's hard to get divers to come out to go do surveys and stuff. They don't really know what they're doing, or I mean, they do, but they don't always film exactly what the guys want them to film. So I have the ability to live stream from underneath water. So there was a couple of installations where there was a company in Dubai that was putting in some stuff in Kirkland, putting in a floating dock in Kirkland. We went underwater, put up a live feed to their server, and they would tell us, go left, go right. What is that? Can you go down 10 more feet? And we filmed everything for them live while they were watching it in Dubai, and got everything all the information they needed. What they needed, I don't know. I would just go left. Whatever directions they would tell me to go was where I would go.
Right.
But they were able to immediately put in some guys and without any hassles whatsoever, drive the piling in and without doing a full survey underwater or anything. So it was really cool. That was $2,000. Boom.
Nice.
And then I got another deal. I haven't capitalized on it yet. There's a lot of the lakes around here, people get their drinking water from the lake. So what they have is they have a pipe that goes out to the water, and there's a general filter. It's a stainless steel pipe that goes down and then just past their dock, and it comes up about 4 feet in about 10 feet of water. And there's a general filter on that thing. And then the water goes through that into another filter, into another filter, into another filter, then they drink it. So there's 4 filters total. Well, that first one gets covered in all kinds of algae and everything else. And eventually, wanted by the FBI. It makes the water flow, it makes the water taste bad. And even if you filter it so that it's drinking water. So anyway, they generally hire a diver to go out there and clean them. Well, a friend of mine said, "Hey, come out here and dive out and have some fun out here. And while you're out here, can you look at my filter?" So I went out there and looked at it. And I thought, well, let me try something. So I clamped onto it with a claw and cranked up my motors, and I blew all of it off. And they were saying, "Wow, we're paying divers $200 to do this. You could do everybody on this lake. There's like thousands of people on this lake." Well, the only reason I haven't jumped on that is because of liability. I don't want to go someplace and do it, and they say, "Oh, you broke my filter," and then I got to replace everything. So
you couldn't find somebody to give you a legal document waiver that
I could
goes in detail and says, I'm doing this, not that I recommend it, but on request, and they take full responsibility for any.
I could, and I could get insurance that would cover it in case something like that happened. What's more interesting, cleaning out a filter or diving on a World War II bomber?
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at the money.
I know. I have a job. It's that's kind of one of the reasons why I have not become a 107 pilot, is because I don't want people calling me saying, "Hey, can you film this? Can you film this stupid house? I don't want to go film houses or
Property.
property or anything like that, or go film, some jogging thing or a running thing or whatever. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I'm not interested in that. So I haven't done the 107 thing.
Uncle Bill, as most people know, likes to go out fishing and stuff, and he's fished out a couple of fishing poles.
Yeah, but he said they're also his poles, too.
Yo, Edward, man, I don't think I would have went up underneath no cold water for no glasses for $20. He'd have had to go buy him another pair.
Yeah, under the ice floe, that would be interesting.
Them glasses couldn't have been that important.
And Bill, it's always, I see some of the stuff that some of my friends are doing. I'm like, how, that is the most why would anybody want to film that house?
Yeah.
Especially from the air. It's like, yeah. So Bill, when you fished yours out, did you dive in or do you have an ROV?
Might have hooked it with another fishing pole.
Well, I mean, his glasses were $500. Holy shit.
Yikes. Well, Jonathan, you know where my channel is. You can go check some of the stuff out.
Yes, I sure will. I already subscribed and everything. So I'm definitely going to check that out. That'll be something I'll get into today. I saw a message come across my screen, but I don't see it in the chat.
No, it's in a private chat. It's in the
How do I get to that?
the Zoom screen.
Down at the bottom of the Zoom screen, you see where it says private?
No.
It'll say chat.
I don't see that at all.
At the very bottom.
Right at the very bottom in the center. Once you take the mouse down there, it'll say share screens, chat, a whole bunch of stuff across the
A bunch
bottom.
of things at the bottom.
It'll
No,
be
all I got
screen.
On YouTube, on Zoom.
I got a 3 dots. Wait a minute.
Are you on your computer?
No, I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're on the phone. Maybe you're having a
That
hard.
might be different.
Yeah.
My phone is actually sitting on top of my computer. I hadn't turned it on yet.
Yeah.
Bill, you being silly? Really?
No, I just didn't want to say too much, not privately there, Jonathan, but just curious on your logo behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way you spelled Ariel, it's different. That's all.
It might be the wrong logo. When I was first getting it made and the people were making it, they made that mistake and then they end up having to fix it. So this is probably the old print.
AIR.
AI, AIR. Yeah, that's the old print. That's the old print.
Bill, I have found fishing poles.
Mhm.
Well, you found a whole bunch of different stuff. You found watches and all kinds of things, right?
I found tasers, found a gun.
Yeah, using crimes. Flash.
All my buddies are like, oh, it was okay. So I'm not a big gun guy. I mean, I've got a shotgun, I got a pistol, I got a Glock and a Remington, but I didn't know what this was. So we called the police and it turned out it was a Sig Sauer 9mm.
Okay.
So if anybody asked me I don't know what it is, they said that's what it is, and I said okay.
So
but all my friends were like, "Why didn't you keep it? Why didn't you keep it?" No, I'm sorry. One more time.
Did you bring it up before you called the cops, or you seen it?
No, we called them. We called them when we found it, and they came out, looked at it, and the guy goes, "Well, it's not going to fire, but the safety's on also." So we went ahead and grabbed it and brought it up. I never touched it. He had a little zip bag. He put it in, took my phone number down and everything. Said if it ever solved a crime in Crime Stoppers, I'd get a reward.
Oh, cool.
The police in Tacoma are not that honest. So So I don't, even if there was a reward, I'm pretty sure they're not going to tell me about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you never
Yeah,
know.
that's it, Bill. Sig Sawyer.
Oh, Sig.
Take
Okay.
sour.
Yeah.
Sawyer.
Yeah.
He said it was a Sig Sauer 9mm when he pulled it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good brand.
It was about 20 yards out, just about as far as you could throw it from the end of the pier.
That's probably what you found too, a murder weapon.
Yeah. My buddies are going, why do you keep it? I'm like, there's a reason somebody threw that away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't want that's.
Yeah.
And they were all saying, well, why didn't you pull it up and look at it first? I'm like, nope. If I want a pistol, I'll go buy a pistol. I don't need to.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, you did it right because you'd have took that thing home and cleaned it up and fixed it up and oiled it down and got it working back right and messed around and got caught with it. And then next thing you know, they'd be like, well, this weapon was in
This
a
murder
murder case. Yeah, a murder case 15 years ago and you got it. Yeah, you the one.
Exactly.
You did right.
But Laura, I did find your phone. It's
Yeah.
iPhone 13. That's supposed to be one of those good cameras too, man. That's the only thing I was hoping I could get it to work was get those cameras to work. That would be kind of cool.
Can't you turn them in and get paid for them?
Yeah, there's a kiosk you can put these in, and you can get like $20 to $50 depending on the condition of the phone.
Yeah.
They want it for the metals that are in there, the rare earth metals. I mean, there's not a lot in here, but over time it adds up.
I'd try to get that fixed if I was you. Like you said,
the
it's
problem
all.
is
I've got like 30 of them.
Yeah, but you don't have the passcodes and stuff to get in.
Yeah.
They're just hard to reset it. If he can get it operational, 9 times out of 10, like you said, that's an older model phone. So, and then where it's at, person I'll be dropped it or threw it, so they figured they didn't want it no more. It's not reported anything. You can get it working. They get hard to reset it.
I think it needs a new screen myself. Oh, I'm sorry, Laura. She wants a 15. The 13 is a free 13 is not good enough. This is an iPhone 13. The latest is a 15. She wants the 15 free. All right. Well, where I found this one, I went back and I was looking at the footage when I got back, and there were 2 more in the water just about 10 feet away from this one. And I didn't see them at first because they're kind of buried in the sediment a little bit. So I still got to go back and get those. So one could be a iPhone 15, Laura. Bill says root it. I got to get the screen to work first, Bill.
I put it in front of a fan for about a day or so.
Oh, it's been out of the water.
There's two more phones
now.
out there, huh?
Yeah, where I found that one, there were 2 more. I didn't see them when I was down there. It was 20 feet of water in a lake, not a big deal.
But you reviewed
I'm looking back
your
and I'm seeing off in the corner over here. I'm seeing this raised part, and I'm going, well, there's another phone there, and then another shot. I'm seeing another phone over here. If I'd have just gone a little bit further over, I would have saw them. They would have been in the center of my screen.
That was from the same lake you pulled the gun from?
No, different place. Are you familiar
different place? Okay.
Are you familiar with Washington at all? I mean,
Washington, D.C., not Washington State.
Okay, well, if you pull it up on a map, you'll see the ocean comes in and it has it's called the Puget Sound, and we got water all around us everywhere.
Hey, Uncle Bill.
Going across the left side on across the top.
Yep.
Yeah, Washington State's up in the corner.
We like to refer to ourselves as the Paris, France of the United States.
Nice. Now, I've seen footage from up there, though. It looks real nice up there.
Why is that? Are the women's hairy and the men's snotty, or what?
Anyway, Paul, I'm gonna take off. I'm gonna go get coffee with Timmy and stuff. So,
Okay, Paul.
So Mark
so
says you
anyway,
can't
guys, all
reset it.
have a good one. I'm gonna take off. See you, Curtis, Jonathan, no,
Say hello to Tim.
buddy.
But later, later,
I'll say
Paul.
hi. The Tim's for you guys.
Yeah,
So-
okay.
I need you to FedEx me a Tim's if you don't mind.
okay.
Oh, you can't
Hey,
hard
Paul.
set an Apple product.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. I'm normally Android, so I figured you could have hard set it, but
Yeah,
I never did.
I'm always Android too.
Well, I don't know if you can root a Apple phone or not, but you know, you're basically just overwriting whatever's there. You'd have to download a ROM from somebody that writes them, you know. But you know, it encrypted on the to the hardware, it would still lead back to a specific person that owned it before, you know. But as
Okay.
far as that is concerned, but you might be able to do it with an Apple phone. I'm going to look into that now. You got me curious. You could do that with an Android phone. Like I just gave away a Pixel 2 XL to somebody, and they stopped updating it back at Android 11. So there's a security issue there. But if you want to continue to use phones that are no longer supported by the phone companies or by Google or whatever, there's guys that write complete ROMs for them and update them every so often. And you can, but you'd have to, you know, I wouldn't give it to somebody, tell them to do it. I mean, I'd do it for myself because,
Right.
you know, you don't want to, because then if you accidentally go to update it and it breaks the phone, you know, you need to continue to sideload the ROM onto it if you want to update it again after that. But that particular phone I gave out, there's an Android 13 ROM for it out there that apparently works pretty good. But anyway,
Well, I'd be interested
that's
in
stuff you
the
can't.
camera that's in the phone, but that's about it. But even then, it doesn't store everything on the phone. So how do you even get that out?
I think it's stored on the cloud. Apple stores on the cloud, right?
Right.
Well, they do, but it's also backed up on the phone if you're talking about data. But I mean, when you root it, you're wiping it. You know, there's nothing there. You know.
No, I'm talking about the only reason I would really want to turn on the phone is if I could get access to the camera and use the camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look into that and see if you can root an Apple phone. I mean that's why it's dumb when people steal Apple phones and like that, or any phone for that matter, because it's going to get you caught. The phone is made to get you caught, but to actually be able to use it, you'd have to be able to, like I said, root it so it's basically blank. You know, that's what you do. You hook up to a PC, you rootkit it so that it's
Well, I don't care if they know that I found it underwater.
The IMEI number is still there. So if somebody reported it, you're going to get arrested, or you're going to at least be found. You know,
I'm not going to be arrested. I recovered it from underwater.
no, you're not going to get arrested. Nobody's going to arrest you for a phone that was in the water for 6 months. I'm talking about people that steal phones.
Right. No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But every phone has an IMEI number, and it's based on the hardware identification. So even if you root it, if it's reported stolen, you could still get caught.
That thing's pissing me off.
And that gun in the water, that could have been just some pissed off housewife. You know, I'll show that bastard. They'll take his $1,000 phone and throw it 20 yards into the water. You know, or
he found 3 of them in the same spot though. That's kind of strange.
oh, I'm throwing all his guns in there. do one, do them all. You know.
No, the gun was okay. So the gun, these are all different times. The gun was one. I found one gun. That's all I found.
Yeah.
I found so far about 30 iPhones and 3 Android phones. Not all at the same place, but the place that I found this last one, there were 2 more in the water that I did not see on the screen. I use an iPad Pro when I'm underwater so I can see what I'm seeing down there. And they were off up in the corner over here. And when I'm watching the footage, it's like clearly that's a phone, but I was looking at the center of the screen.
Yeah. I'm just saying alternate piece. I mean, it sounds to me like it was involved in some kind of nefarious. I mean, typically though, Sig Sauer is an expensive phone. You know, crooks don't necessarily use SIGs, you know, but it could have been some idiot that was shooting fish and dropped the phone out of a boat, you know, into the water.
No. What he's saying, where he found the gun was a different place from where he found the phones.
No, I
Right.
heard that.
So yeah, they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
linked. Yeah, they're not linked
No,
to each other.
I'm just saying alternate theories to this phone was used in a crime. That's all. Not phone, gun, I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
It may have been. It sounds like it, but it might not. Maybe you'll get it back. They said they'll give it to you if it doesn't show up in any ballistics reports or anything.
No.
They should have.
They just took it away.
Yeah.
What about what about that tried and true law of finders keepers, losers weepers? Damn it!
Right.
Well, I'll give you an example. I mean, we had a bullet come, a 50 cal bullet come through our house, and
Wow.
it didn't come in. It just went through it's on the corner of the wall up here. Just went into the wall. I heard a thunk, and I walked over and I was like, "What's that break in the wall?" So I went outside to see what happened and dug out there's a little hole in there, and I dug out a bullet. It had been spinning, so it had been in the air for a while. So I called the police. The police came out, and he took the bullet, and I go, "So when you're done doing the ballistics on that, I get it back?" He goes, "No, we don't return these."
Well, no, never heard of him returning bullets. But I mean, when it comes to like you say that gun, like a lot of times, okay, if a person was to find some money, right, and they turn it in, and nobody speaks up saying that it's theirs or prove that it's theirs, they would normally like give it to that person. So you figure, I would figure, with the gun, it'd be the same thing. If they run the ballistics, there's no crime committed with that weapon. It's not a stolen weapon. They should give it back to you. Like you say, finders keepers.
You would think.
It may take a long time because you never know. Some ballistic report might show up 6 months from now.
It's been a year, so.
Oh,
they're not interested in bothering to give it back to you.
Yeah,
it's probably just sitting there.
It's probably sitting on some cop's coffee table.
Yeah. Look what I got. So anybody familiar with these vape things?
Yeah.
Mine leaks.
Typically it's a vacuum issue, like you're missing a gasket where the cap comes off, where the drip tip comes off up in there. If it's leaking down, new. If it's leaking down through the, they may stop, by the way. Sometimes when they're new, they do that. But if your air hole is at the bottom of the tank, that's because, like I said, that when you fill it up, you put the cap back on. You don't wait, because just from gravity, you'll get weepage through the cotton, and it ends up coming out of your air, out of the air holes, So, if your gasket is misplaced, I mean, because they'll sell them like that. You could get one. There should be a gasket where that top comes off, or the drip tip comes off, and that's usually what that is. It's either that or the coil's it's not seated properly, which could also be. But you'd have to empty it and check the coil.
Well,
I've actually had coils come with that. They have little ring gaskets on them too, and I've had one where the gasket was gone on the coil, and it was leaking.
Well, I don't see a coil in this thing. I mean, I've taken it apart. It's just a metal thing that goes down and touches the body of this thing.
In the center, that metal tube that's in the center of it, when you're looking in it, that's your coil.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what you replace when it starts to taste like yick. That has to come out, and you replace it with another one. And they have a ring gasket at the bottom of them. Where it sets in place inside the tank.
So Mark says it's very unlikely that the guy was shooting fish if the safety was on.
Could have just dropped it in the water too. I mean, who knows? People are stupid.
It's 20 yards out. You don't drop that.
Well, if you're in a boat, you do.
It's not an area. So it's a public fishing dock where we were at, and boats tend to stay away from there because of all the fishing line that's in the water.
I don't know. People do dumb things.
Yeah.
I just had to ban a woman from our bar because she was coming in apparently bragging about the fact that she was packing,
Yeah.
which is not legal to bring into
Right.
a bar. You know.
Well, everybody left us, Bill. Let's plan the Christmas show now.
All right, sounds good.
I
I'm
mean,
still here. I had to plug my device up.
Thanksgiving coming up. My wife bought the turkey. Every year it's got to get a little bigger. 24.72 pounds.
well, in the past, Paul has generally done a nice little Christmas show, but he's always kind of planned it out. And I was waiting for him to start planning it. I'm going to do a couple of Christmas videos myself. I'm working on a song. I haven't quite got it all figured out yet, but I was going to do something in the style of Chuck Berry, kind of like the Run, Rudolph, Run, but I want to do one where Santa got drunk on Christmas Eve.
Why not? Santa deserves a break.
Well, my line of thinking was to start the video off with cookies on a table, and it pans across to a bottle of whiskey and a shot glass there, and there's a note that says, "Dear Santa, I know I'm supposed to leave milk and cookies, but my daddy likes whiskey, so I thought I'd try whiskey."
Well, I mean, actually, he could do it where he thinks it's milk and it's eggnog.
Yeah.
With
Well,
rum
the
in.
whiskey I think would be more obvious. And then the rest of it's how the rest of the storyline is how he's delivering the wrong presents to the wrong people. You know, the husband and the wife are there. The husband opens his box and it's lingerie, and she opens it up and it's hers and it's tools, and he looks at her and she looks at him. You know, the two kids open their presents. Johnny gets the Barbie and she gets the train set, you know. And at the end of it, everybody just exchanges their gifts. It's kind of the idea I have for this music video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off in time, but
You could do it kind of nasty, and he opens his and it's a giant dildo.
well, I thought about my first thought. I was telling my wife, and I says, "Yeah," and then little Johnny opens it up, and it's a little dildo, and it's vibrating. He goes, "Moms, what's this?" You know. She goes,
Well, I don't
"Yeah."
know if I do. I don't know if I do the kid thing, but what could kind of be funny is if he opens his up, it's this big, ding dong, and she opens hers up, and it's an inflatable doll, and they just look at each other, smile, and hand each other the present.
Right. But my wife said you'll alienate all the females in your audience, and I'm like, okay, well, I don't have any females that watch my channel, so
Yeah. Oh, yeah, all three of them.
Yeah. Yeah, I go look at my statistics on my analytics, and there's like 2 females that watch, and that's about it.
I don't know about those analytics. According to mine, the only people I get are men over 60 years old or whatever the hell it is. So,
Don. Oh my God, Don.
What did Don say? I can't see the chat.
Says, how's that a joke? How's that a joke? My wife likes tools and I like lingerie and dildos.
I ain't gonna ask what that's about.
Well, there you go. That you could use Don and his wife, and they just look and shrug and say thank you.
Yeah.
And walk away.
Holds up the lingerie. It's the wrong size, honey.
Yeah, but the dildo is fine.
Yeah, the dildo will work.
Actually, we should probably see
For Dawn, it will work.
Paul, what are you looking up? The price of vibrators, or
No, I'm looking up, trying to find that short with Santa chasing the sleigh with all the presents falling off the back.
I've never seen that.
It's a short, but there's a whole bunch of Santa Claus.
That was the one from yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paul's working on the Christmas special right now. He's making plans.
Yeah. It's on my list, and I'm not checking it twice.
Come on, Paul. You've done some great Christmas
Because
specials.
I already know who's naughty.
I saw a shirt the other day that I thought was perfect. It says, Santa, please define naughty.
Well, I mean, it's a certain kind of pine, knotty pine, wood with knots in it, knotty.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's what you're talking about, right?
Don, it's Sunday morning. It's too early for that. Don says with enough lube, dildos are one size fits all.
No, no.
Oh my. I couldn't find it.
Well, I'm gonna take a little nappy. I get to waste my Sunday today. I took a couple extra days off. The way it all worked out, since I'm off Sunday and Tuesday, we're closed on Thanksgiving. I was like, oh, so I took 2 PTO days to take off Monday and Wednesday and was able to cover it easily. So I'm not back to work till Friday morning.
There you go.
Yeah, almost like a big, and it was nothing planned. I mean, this was just spur of the moment. Looking at it, thinking, why not? Instead of losing my vacation time every year because it doesn't roll over. Let's use a little bit. So I have a week of doing whatever I feel like.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to close it down. It's sad because we got 19 people watching.
Well, then don't close it down. You're that interesting.
Now I'm running out of things to talk about.
Never stopped you before.
Yeah.
Well, Jonathan, before we go, did you have any more questions about underwater drones?
No. I wrote down a lot of information you gave me. I'm definitely going to look into it.
Well, hit me up on Facebook and I'll share any info I have.
Yep. Get a hold of Curtis. He's a busy guy this time of year because he's working on all of his Christmas specials. But yeah, get a hold of Curtis.
The Christmas stuff that's going to happen on the Paul Murray Show.
Yeah.
That I will.
Okay, everybody. Hey, thanks for being there, Uncle Bill. Take care.
Yeah.
We'll see all you again later today.
Bye, everybody.
Definitely.
Bye for now.
Hit up Laura's channel. We're doing games.
Laura's doing game. What time she go on, Bill?
Shoot. You know what? I don't know. I don't know. This afternoon.
It's like 2:00 Eastern time or something, or
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Watch for little Lava Laura. We'll see all of you again later. Bye for now. Thanks, Curtis. Thanks, Jonathan. Thanks, Bill.
Sure thing. See y'all later, man.
And thank you, everyone in the chat. Bye for now.
Much love to the community. See you guys later.